are Donald O'Grady of Limerick and Davy Fitzgerald, the Waterford manager, and they have been talking to Joanne Cantwell.
Donald, you've obviously made good progress through the league this year, but will you only find out where this team really is today?
I think that's a very valid point, Joanne. You know, I think halfway through this game today, we'll know where we are. The league, you know, the only worthwhile game we got there really was the league final against Clare, and you know that told us a certain amount of things. But today really is all about, you know, championship hurling. We'll find out where we are. Where
do you expect to find out that you will be?
I think we'll go well. I think we'll prepare well for it. You know, there's certain days that is your day. You know, there's a good feeling in the camp, and the attitude is we're going to give it our best. We're going to, you know, do the best we can, try and keep working to the things we've done through the year, and then hopefully that'll take us over the line. If it doesn't, well, we can't have any complaints.
How big a step up is it from what they've been playing so far this year?
Well, it's a huge step up. I mean, I said after the league final that was, you know, like climbing Everest when you had been practicing on Carron too, and I believe that there's a chasm there. It's like trying to jump across the Grand Canyon. But, you know, self-belief is a big thing, and I think we believe well for today.
Limerick are a bit of an unknown quantity, but you've been kind of developing a new look, a new style Waterford this year as well, haven't you?
I don't know, I suppose it's gone on over the last year or two. We've been bringing in guys the whole time and that, and I don't know, I'm just so used to being around the guys now, it doesn't really matter to me who's on, who's not on. It's the lads are informal play, and that's the way it goes.
Well, from a style point of view, what sort of a Waterford can we expect today?
Well, all I want is a Waterford that'll work very hard. We have to really work hard, we have to chase hard, and we have to go at them very hard, so we do when we get the ball. So we'll see what happens later on.
It's very wet out there, would that suit you?
Don't care, doesn't matter, anything at all.
Certainly nothing you can do about the weather, that's for sure. Jonathan, let's just mention a change now on that Waterford team for a start off there. Richie Foley at midfield failed a fitness test, and he is replaced there by David O'Sullivan of Ballygunner.
Yeah, Richie Foley is a loss, you know, Michael, because he's that free taker, especially the long distance free taker, because they have other free takers in Mala Shannon and Paddy O'Mahony, but for long distance free taker, he's the most accurate player. Most likely, I would say, Kevin Moran would now move to midfield and David O'Sullivan will go wing back. So a slight loss, but Waterford have so many players of equal standard that it's not the huge loss that you would expect with many other teams.
Sure, that was Richie Foley there. Just he had a fitness test before the match and didn't come through that. I was talking to one of the Waterford backroom team a little bit earlier today, Tomas, on their way up to the match, and he was saying they're very apprehensive, not apprehensive about this game, they're apprehensive about Limerick because obviously they, like us, are not quite sure what Limerick are going to produce today.
Yeah, and I suppose that piece there with Donald O'Grady, you'd sense that as well. I mean, does he really know what way Limerick are going to show up today, right? I mean, coming from Division 2, it's a different standard of hurling. It's obviously below Division 1 standard, but you're coming into a championship and you're realistically, has these guys been tested, has their mettle been tested in serious competition? I suppose they are the question marks about Limerick, but Donald O'Grady gone in there as a manager, right? Certainly has regrouped them. The discipline element is gone from the scene there. They're all working together. They're united. And what Donald O'Grady would have brought to that Limerick team over the last number of months, realistically, he would have arrived with his flip chart. He would have gone very much back to the basics, right? Now, it might have been very mundane training, but you were gone back to the hooking, you were gone back to the blocking, and you were getting back to the basics of hurling, and they would have started from there. So there's a lot of expectation there from Limerick, even from their supporters, that they could cause a surprise here today.
Yeah, we always like to have a look at one or two players and point them out for our audience that we feel may have an impact on this game or for whom it's a big day. And your choice there is the Limerick full forward, Kevin Downs. Big test for him today. It's a big test. He's a strong lad. I mean, he's coming with a good pedigree. Has won a Harty Cup medal with Ardscoil Reach in Limerick, and he's won played minor with Limerick as well. What I liked about him the last day I saw in the Division 2 final against Clare was, like, he's very intelligent on the ball. He's bringing other forwards into play. But when the chance arose for himself as well, he got some great scores as well. And I suppose the stat for this, Michael, this guy wasn't even born when one of the Waterford players that's playing in the team today started his career as an 18-year-old, and that's Tony Brown. You know, so he is a youngster, but he's getting his opportunity, and he is a big cog in the wheel. If Limerick are to do well today, Kevin Downs will have to play a big part. You have another Kevin for us. This is Waterford's Kevin Moran, and of course Kevin Moran is one of those players who over the last couple of years has come through this sort of Waterford team and made his place in the team.
He has, Michael, and as well as that you have the big names of Brick and John Mullane and Tony Brown and the Waterford team, but he's one of the unsung heroes. He has played in the full back line, the half back line, midfield, the half forward line. You can play him anywhere. So that's why I think today he'll probably move out in the midfield. And what he is a very big, strong, honest player. You know, very reliant on his left-hand side, all right, but he's a tough, honest player, and you know, he's the kind of player that Waterford really need to bring that bit of physicality into their play that they lacked, we'll say, 2 or 3 years ago. Because, you know, when we think of Waterford now, Michael, we're thinking of all the big names. We're thinking of Ken McGrath, we're thinking of Kelly, of Shanahan and Flynn. But they're all gone. A new era has come now. So new leaders have come to the fore. And he's one of the new breed of Waterford players that has come to the fore over the last 2 or 3 years.
He is indeed. OK, let's head over indeed to Thurles right now to hear from our match commentators. And this afternoon they are...
Defensively look strong, don't they?
They do indeed, Marty. The interesting selection for me is Seamus Hickey at full-back. He's played corner-back, wing-back, centre-back, even midfield for Limerick. But with Stephen Lucy out today, I think there's huge... We've talked about this man so much over the years, but John Milan, to me, you know, is still the key man for Waterford. It's hard to believe it's over 10 years now. This is his 11th championship, but in that time, I think he's rarely let Waterford down. An outstanding player from play. And again today, maybe Seamus Hickey might move and pick him up. We don't know, but John Milan always good for 4 or 5 points. And if he plays well again today, Waterford will be going very close to winning.
The big talking point, of course, is the fact that Waterford in 2008, Limerick last year. Today closes the book on 2010 for Limerick as they set out on a new beginning, a new championship with a very high-profile manager from Cork that knows how to win Munster and All-Ireland titles. Game on, Munster Championship semi-final, Limerick against Waterford. Waterford won the toss, playing from left to right. The champions of Munster against the Division 2 League champions. A game that we're hoping will sparkle to life despite the appalling wintry conditions that we have here in County Tipperary. Limerick will be hoping to settle early. They get the first clearance in. Ball down to a full forward line that certainly has potential. Nice little flick back by Graham Mulcahy. Couldn't prevent. 37. Still playing the game.
Marty, one of the most unusual starts I've ever seen. The 6 Limerick forwards gathered about 50 yards from the goals within 5 yards of each other, and I'm still confused. I don't know who's gone where. They're after spreading out a bit now.
Free for Limerick for that foul. And Brian Geary about the tactical cuteness of Donal O'Grady.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's a lot of tricks up his sleeve over the years, and you know, been very successful with Cork winning All-Ireland. So interesting to see. But at the end of the day, it'll all settle down, and the players have to produce the goods on the field no matter where they're playing.
Limerick are concerned about Michael Brick Walsh and how they cope with him. He's such a dominant and influential figure. Little bit of surprise that Brian Geary is at 6, but Donal O'Grady feels that he brings stability, lays it off to Donal O'Grady, who puts Limerick on the score sheet for the very first time. Donal O'Grady, his manager, will be pleased with Donal O'Grady, the player.
But that's it. I was going to say, Marty, we better clarify that there's 2 Donal O'Grady involved. For people who don't know, Donal, long-serving midfielder for Limerick and a great scorer there from the middle of the field. Lovely pass by Brian Geary, didn't waste possession, and that's something that Donal O'Grady is very, very strong on, is not hitting in aimless balls and pick out a man that's free.
Paul Brown losing possession, sent back by Michael Brick Walsh. Working hard is Brian O'Sullivan. Minor last year. Lays it back to David O'Sullivan. The O'Sullivan brothers combining.
Start and thrown in there now to deep end. Sometimes that can work for you because you don't have the nerves building up to the game. Kevin Moore there with a great catch. Outstanding over the last couple of years with his club. De La Salle, yeah, great All-Ireland club final last year.
Ball sent in by James Ryan. Easily gathered by Clinton Hennessy. Here's Geary again. Certainly is getting a lot of ball, but he gives that one away. Well anticipated by the Waterford captain, Stephen Malumphey. Heading towards the 45-metre line. Lays it off to right half forward, Pádraig Mahoney. And that is gone over the bar. Good score by the Ballygunner youngster. Won Harty in All-Ireland colleges with De La Salle. His captain, the army man, laying it off to the young fella, and he did the business.
Yeah, and see Stephen Malumphey playing midfield with Shane O'Sullivan switched to centre forward, and the 2 wing forwards have switched. Maurice Shanahan and Pádraig Mahoney have switched wings as well.
Shane O'Sullivan played very well in the 40 in the Allianz League. Maurice Shanahan, reminiscent of Dan the Man, big brother, watching from the sideline. This is young Morris, former minor under 21, shows a little jink, gets it inside. Here's a chance for Waterford, hit on the run, hit powerfully. Hit by Shane O'Sullivan, but unfortunately hit wide.
Yeah, that was a good chance.
Quaid. He would love to celebrate his 22nd birthday today with a victory for his county. Hard to believe he played midfield in the championship last year against Cork, but always played underage as a goalkeeper. Big test for him as Limerick go into the attack. Ball sent in, but ball is going well wide.
Yeah, Niall can be a great man to knock over 4 or 5 points in his day. Again, he's gone in centre forward as well on Brick Walsh, trying to curb his influence, but really that's a ball he should have played inside, you know, those sort of wides from 7.
There, when Sparrow O'Loughlin from Clarecastle and Clare was in charge. Good cut by Wayne. Noel Connors didn't connect. This is Kevin Downs. He could pose problems for Waterford this afternoon. First point for the 19-year-old from the Pearshig. But keep an eye on the number 14. Saw him play Harty Cup with Artskull Reach against Flannans, and he was a star. Here comes David O'Sullivan, about to be tackled by Richie McCarthy. Ball inside is a good one. Limerick looks slightly exposed. The option was to take the point, and that's a very good score by John Millar.
Yeah, super score, Marty. Great first touch. David O'Sullivan, who hadn't a great start. You see there, John Milan in bad conditions. Lovely first touch. Maybe could have kept going. No, probably didn't have the support and took the right option over the bar.
Straight down the middle for Nicky Quaid. Gathered by Kevin Downs. Almost. Brick Walsh taking the responsibility. Hand pass back is a good one to Malumphy, and that is going off the post. Danger still for Limerick. Working hard is Brian O'Sullivan. He's pulled down. Referee Barry Kelly has blown his whistle. He's calling for the ball. He hasn't indicated. Yes, he has. This is going to be a penalty. No question whatsoever in his opinion. What about the thoughts of Michael Dignan?
Yeah, you see Brian O'Sullivan going around and Damien Reel up at the arm. Definitely pulled him back, and it's to me it is a penalty.
Barry Kelly, I think, is going to note and perhaps show a yellow card. Yes, he is. That's being shown to Damien Rail for that challenge on Brian O'Sullivan.
Yeah, a bit of Limerick man changing, bringing in a fresh slitter wrapped up in the towel.
And Wayne McNamara copped onto it.
We might have saw that before a few times.
Here comes the penalty. Torrig Mahoney stopped on the line between goalkeeper and cornerback and cleared by Seamus Hickey. A turning point perhaps. It's early days, but after 8.5 minutes almost played, it is a missed penalty on the score sheet for Waterford. That they can produce a bit of a surprise here.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Torrig Mahoney. Yeah, well saved by Gavin O'Mahony and Nicky Quaid, as you say, and picked up then by Seamus Hickey and cleared.
This was there a ball in it? No. Wayne McNamara overreacted.
A Houdini act. If there was, it disappeared.
Here come Limerick, counter-attacking, but their shooting is poor. That, by the way, now is 2 wides for Limerick. But they really need to calm down, not shoot unnecessarily, and perhaps shooting from difficult angles. Puck up by Clinton Hennessy, knocked down by Gavin O'Mahony, sent back by Tony Brown. Damien Rail goes back to gather. Part of that Limerick under-21 team that won 3 under-21s back at the turn of the century. Nicky Quaid goes for distance down towards Torrig Mahoney over that far side, added to by Kevin Moore. Referee has blown his whistle. There was a push by John Milan on Tom Condon, who has taken up the responsibility of marking the De La Salle club.
Campaign with De La Salle, you know, right throughout last winter. I said the club final, they obviously didn't get there. They're beaten in the semi-final in an epic game with Clarenbridge, and he got a little break after that and back again fresh now for the championship.
Free drops down towards Brick Walsh. Well cleared. Underneath it here is Donald O'Grady waiting patiently for it. He should have gone for it rather than wait for it. Here's John Milan, who doesn't hang about. Tom Condon staying with him. Ball sent in, and that ball is wide. Both teams in the early stages, with just 11 minutes played, guilty of poor shooting.
Yeah, Marty, I think the conditions are, but we're going to see a bit of that today.
And here in Thurles, indeed, I think nationwide, it's just been an awful day with rain. So earlier, if the match was played here in Thurles at 11 o'clock in the morning, you'd have found it difficult to see the two teams. It was so bad. Sideline ball is going to Waterford. Tony Brown going to take it. Back in 1992, he was captain of the Waterford team that won the Under-21 All-Ireland. And way back then, 18 years ago, he also wore the number 5 jersey. O'Sullivan, working hard. Shane O'Sullivan, that is. Has to go all the way back, far as Dara Fives from Turin. Nicely picked up by James Ryan. Down towards Graham Mulcahy. He's playing in the opposite corner to what he was named. You can see how difficult the conditions are, but he is battling with the teenager Tony Brown.
Hasn't worked out, and very, very strong on those sort of 50-50 situations, and he just plays his own game.
Brown to Milan. Tom Condon left on the ground. Milan going for it! Fantastic goal! Dan the man might have been the man, but John Milan is still scoring goals. He got inside Tom Condon here. Condon was left slipping and sliding. Milan knew he had the chance, and he took it with aplomb and style.
He did, Marty, but Tom Condon, showing his lack of experience, completely caught on the wrong side. Should have stayed goal side of his man. You can see him there, the wrong side. He should have been gone the other side. Milan goes inside, but in fairness to him, maybe a little bit critical a few minutes ago, he didn't go on, but they're straight in and buried in a great goal.
Expect a change in the Limerick full back line. Expect perhaps a response from Limerick. Using the short grip, Niall Moran gets his first point, and that is a good and quick response from the Clinton Hennessy. Came onto the championship side back in 2005. Paul Brown to another Brown with the wrong jersey from Paul Brown's perspective. Shane O'Sullivan. Gavin O'Mahony comes into challenge. Nice work by O'Sullivan, nice stick work as well. Still can't get away from the challenges. His captain is there to help him. Lumphy can't regain the possession, but Graham Mulcahy does. Ball inside, trying to control it was Kevin Downs, and that is a sideline ball for Waterford.
Top, and Stephen Mulunphy are normally very strong in those positions, but you see lads maybe going and taking the touch with the hurl. On a day like this, I think you need to get your hand out, get the ball in your hand as quick as you can, and stop taking that extra touch.
David O'Sullivan, he's the man who got the late call up. Shows a little bit too much of it. Paul Brown works hard. Under 21 in 2009, that lost badly to Clare. Nicked out by Michael Brick Walsh. Easily gathered by Damien Rail. Flicks the ball away under pressure. Maurice Shanahan to Brian O'Sullivan. Good ball inside towards John Milan. You sense danger every time the ball goes towards that man. Referee Barry Kelly feels that John Milan took too many steps. I would question that. Would you?
Well, it's a problem I think I have, in hurling over the years. I think backs get free an awful lot handed and forwards at times. Like, he's trying to get up, he's trying to play the ball, he's trying to get free, and to me it's a free in. He's given no opportunity to actually get his hurl back and to play the ball. So I think that's a wrong decision.
Under the conditions, referee have to use a little bit of pragmatism and a little bit of flexibility, really.
Yeah, absolutely. But just the other end of the field there, Marty, the influence that Brick Walsh is having on the game already is massive. We saw, we just missed an absolutely brilliant first touch there a minute ago, ball into his hand. I think he's struck 7 or 8 balls already. He's dominating the game from centre back, and if Limerick want to win this game, they have to do something about that and put him under pressure. I think Noel McGrath last year for Tipperary was the only player we saw who actually drifted away from him and took a few scores, and playing orthodox hurling against him just won't work.
Gavin O'Mahony takes the fray. Dangerous ball. Ball is dropped. It's there for Limerick. Waterford under a little bit of pressure. Richard McCarthy is in there. It's batted away and cleared eventually by Stephen Malumphey. First to the ball, Tom Condon did well on this occasion and gives it loads from the middle of the field. Is the cornerback about to score? No. Another wide for the Shannonsiders. That's 3 wides for Limerick. They seem to be shooting a little bit, not so much under pressure, but a bit stupidly.
Yeah, a little bit of inexperience. You know, sensible option. The better option is to play that ball inside, especially on a day like this where a ball can break easily off a man and end up in the back of the net. They have a chop down there from Wayne McCarthy now on Paddy O'Mahony. He's going to get a yellow card there, I'd say.
Well, from where the ball landed, which Brian Geary had gathered, there's going to be a free for Waterford. Wayne McNamara is being called by the referee. He's having all the excuses. He's also just noting his name. But what will Barry Kelly do? Will he give a yellow card? Yes, he will.
Yeah, that's the right cornerback and right halfback, you know, after 17 minutes on yellow cards. And that puts fierce pressure on the back line. You know, what do they do the next time someone's in the goal? They can't foul him. And, you know, it's very, very early in the game to be picking up, you know,
Kelly was talking about the sideline, but we're not too sure. I'm not too sure it was about Tom Condon. I think Barry Kelly wanted less people up and down the sideline. But Tom Condon
with towels down there, they're trying to keep the hurls dry, and they're running onto the field, particularly when it's the free. And Barry Kelly saying he doesn't want any more of it.
Porrick Mahoney with the free. Steps away, knowing that has reached its intended target. 2 points for Porrick Mahoney. Interesting that he's playing today right beside his uncle, Shane O'Sullivan, who's wearing number 9, but he's operating on the 40. So uncle and nephew on the Waterford half-forward line. Ball drops down. Waterford defensively looked quite strong. There were too many steps. There was also a little bit of a challenge going forward. Wayne Hutchinson will be disappointed. He's a man who's normally played in the half-back line. Yeah, he was on the 46A bus there coming out of the full back line, so no doubt the referee was right.
Yeah, good decision there. Just if you look at the Limerick full forward line there and that ball was coming in, the 3 of them were standing within 7 or 8 yards of each other, right in front of the goal. So they need to spread out and get more shape to their forward play and to spread the ball out more, because at the moment they're not posing any sort of a threat to the Waterford defence.
Richie McCarthy, Limerick debutant, stands over this, and he scores his first point in his intercounty career at senior championship level.
Not the most confidently struck free, I'd have to say,
no,
that I ever saw, but he went over the bar anyway.
Wayne O'Mahony first to the ball ahead of Maurice Shanahan. Nicely picked up. The referee blew his whistle. He felt that Dara Fives was fouling Sean Tobin, so that's going to be a free in for Limerick. This is a man that played in the league final against Clare in Cusack Park in Ennis. On that particular occasion he was taken off, but his form in recent weeks has shown that he's ready for the championship. Takes the free but miscues. And to be honest, Limerick can't afford to miss. It was a bit shaky.
And it's pure nerves, Marty. He looked fierce nerves over the ball. He stepped away from it, and that's it. You know, it's a tough one, your first game, to come out and take frees on a bad day like this in Semple Stadium.
Pass back, far as Tony Brown is poor. Nicely picked up by Graham Mulcahy. Calling for it is Paul Brown. Steps inside his namesake not once but twice. But that's another wide. And Donald O'Grady, we know Donald O'Grady well. And
switched across the field over to the other corner forward, you know, where he'd have a chance of winning the ball in front of his man, and a very, very poor option.
Noel Connors gets the puck out rather quickly. Limerick, however, regain possession. Stephen Malumphey operating, by the way, at midfield despite that number 11. John Milan, good stick work under difficult conditions. Gets the ball inside to Shane Walsh. Really had a wonderful league campaign, scoring some cracking goals. Gives it to young Maurice Shanahan from Lismore. Shanahan survives the challenge. Lays it back off as John Milan. He wasn't quite anticipating it. There with Milan is Wayne McNamara. They have to go back out again. Far as Shane O'Sullivan takes the shot. The umpires are perfectly positioned, and the man on the left is going for the white flag.
Yeah, and that's a good point, Marty. You know, you see the experience of Milan maybe at play there again. No panic when he got the ball, looked around, picked out Shane O'Sullivan well, and a nice score.
Puck out by Nicky Quaid. Just like Gaelic football, the loose ball, the breaking ball is very important. Shane Walsh goes high, steps inside. This will be a fine score. It is. He gives the clenched fist off camera. He wanted that. Waterford needed it as well.
Yeah,
Did well,
as you said, Marty, you know, in the league, he was outstanding. I saw him in Tullamore against Offaly. He scored, I think, 8 points from play. Absolutely brilliant. And that type of score, you know, very, very difficult on the best of days, but technically a brilliant score.
Puck out again from Nicky Quaid. Wayne McNamara on the overlap, again shooting from way out the field, and again the result is the same. They really need to feed Sean Tobin, Kevin Downs and Graham Mulcahy, and perhaps Michael.
The ball this end, now they're losing their patience, losing their shape, and you know, it's really up to the half back line midfield to just get the ball and deliver it into the full forward and let them play it and let them do what they're there for.
James Ryan gets it back, fires Donald O'Grady. Brian Geary, better play. Wayne McNamara, diagonal ball. Sean Tobin and Dara Fives, cornerback, wins the tussle and the free. Wayne McNamara gets a touch to it, but it falls kindly for Brian O'Sullivan. Lays it off to Maurice Shanahan, and that's a very good score. 4 of the 6 Waterford forwards have now scored. But Waterford, if you want to contrast what Limerick are doing and what Waterford are doing, the Daishies are working the ball in near to goal. That little bit of experience is quite visible to see.
Exactly, Marty, and they're playing as a team, they're throwing the ball around. You know, they're not worried about who gets the scores. They're just happy that once the scoreboard is taken, they'll throw the ball around, and any of them can score. And another dangerous ball in front of Milan.
Damien Rail with John Milan. Milan getting the better of the tussle. Easy ball for the goalkeeper Nicky Quaid. Gets it down to his captain Gavin O'Mahony. Kilmallock man, captain of that Limerick minor team that lost to Galway in 0-5.
And they're on a bad day. He should be catching that in his hand and moving it again when he did get it.
Interesting to note, and this is reflecting on a point you made earlier, how far out the Limerick forwards are playing. Only Kevin Downs is near the goalpost. In fact, the only player inside the 20-metre line as we speak. Meanwhile, it's Waterford on the attack. It's Pádraig Mahoney that was fouled, and that's going to be a free in for Waterford, and perhaps more than that, a yellow card for the Limerick captain, for Gavin O'Mahony. From Ballygunner. A lot of people call him O'Mahony, but I've been told categorically he's Mahoney. Outside the 45, here comes the fray, miscued it. But don't be too critical, because it is because of the mist that's falling, and it's very difficult for the hurlers to have that proper grip that they normally would have on the hurl. Nicky Quaid determined to go to the far side, down towards Niall Moran, who gets a slight touch. Malumphy working hard. Brian Geary tries to get the ball away, easily dispossessed by Pádraig Mahoney. Did well. Shane Walsh, who has it here? Seamus Hickey with a little bit of support. Again, the anticipated hand pass easily blocked down from Damien Rail. The challenge on Hickey was a little bit over the top. Referee blew his whistle immediately, and there is going to be a free, and perhaps a little bit more, because Gavin O'Mahony is down injured. Shane Walsh has been called for a little bit of extra attention from the referee, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be a yellow card for Shane Walsh. Not entangled there for no reason.
He retaliated. Has to be a throw-in.
Davy Fitz refereeing from the sideline.
We've seen a bit of that before over the years as well, from the goals and from the sideline.
For fuck's sake, Larry, that's fucking bullshit.
I don't think he's happy. Free to Limerick.
See, Davy's making the point that the third man in, Gavin O'Mahony, he should be booked. And the third man in, the rule is that he's booked and it should be a throw in. So I think, to be fair, Davy is right.
A little bit of holding. Brick Walsh was being fouled by Niall Moran.
Okay. Gavin O'Mahony was booked a minute ago, but it's just a bit of a mistimed tackle there. He got a yellow card. Maurice Shannon's in there. If you just watch, Gavin O'Mahony comes into the picture now, and it's only a little shoulder. He couldn't send the player off for that, but technically, you know, to say the third man in should be a yellow card, but he couldn't send the player off for that.
Free taken by Clinton Hennessy. Seamus Hickey just didn't quite collide with it or combine with it. Brian Geary gives it for his Kevin Downs, easily blocked down. Good defending by Brick Walsh and Dara Fives, and it's a free to Waterford. And Limerick just getting a little bit frustrated. You can see the players becoming a little bit more verbal.
Yeah, well, Niall Moran there got the ball, went for a score again, and that's why he was blocked down. He should have played a low ball inside, and Dara Fives was fouled the first time, but he wasn't fouled the second time, in my opinion. He didn't get the free when he should have got it.
Tony Brown sending this in. Good defending by Brian Geary, and any question marks about his pace has been diluted with his first half performance. He's done well. Centre half back for Limerick, solid, without being spectacular.
Yeah, Dara Fives, to me, he was he was just fouled before that. When he gets back up on his feet here, like, he got a free there and he didn't even have possession of the ball, but he was actually fouled when he got the ball originally. There was no free given.
Gavin O'Mahony with the free. Batted away rather easily. Malumphy laying it off. Far as David O'Sullivan. A ball for Shane Walsh to run onto. Walsh tries to gather. Damien Rail is there for Limerick. Was the Waterford man fouled? Limerick are protesting. They're saying it was an accidental collision, and the referee has blown his whistle. Was it accidental, Michael?
Well, you know, I don't want to be overly critical of Shane Walsh or Damien Rail comes across. He definitely hit him. It wasn't accidental. He ran into him. Whether it was a free or not, we'll just have a look at it again here from another angle. You know, good hard challenge, I'd say.
But under the conditions, it is difficult for players who are going at full speed to suddenly put the brakes on.
It is. You can't do it, and you know, in fairness, it's difficult for the ref as well. You know, you don't know this. This is the thing about bad conditions. Is it an accident, like you said there, or is there a bit of intent in it? And you know, in fairness, if the ref thought it was deliberate, Damien Rail would be gone because he's on the yellow card already.
Free is taken, sent over the bar by Pádraig Mahoney. That's his third of the match. Puck out from Nicky Quaid, gathered by Tony Brown, sent forward by David O'Sullivan, half blocked by Shane O'Sullivan, comes to Brian Geary into the space. Waterford, I have to say, under no great pressure defensively. Limerick not really threatened. Some people in Limerick were asking during the week, where would the scores come from? But I think that tactically they need to readjust. They need to play that full forward line far deeper, and they need to put the ball into them. Additional time going to be added on here.
Yeah, it's not that, you know, Limerick are actually, they're working very hard. They're winning plenty of possession around their half-back, and particularly, as I said earlier, Brian Geary and Gavin O'Mahony to their full forward line in particular.
Gavin O'Mahony. In for is James Ryan. Trying to step by the challenge of Brick Walsh. Still James Ryan, but he took it too sharply. Didn't judge the angle.
Yeah, that's sapping away at their confidence all the time, and I think I predicted maybe that it might be a very good game. But the conditions, I think, are having a big bearing, but Limerick aren't helping their own cause with some of the tactical play that, or some of the striking and the shot selection. As I said a minute ago, they're striking the ball wide from way out the field.
Geary to O'Grady to James Ryan. Down from Limerick. Wayne McNamara has to make the right choice here. Steps inside, hits a shot! The right half-back has to come from a defensive position to crack home a goal past Clinton Hennessy that skidded off the surface of Semple Stadium, and Limerick are back in the game. on the stroke of half-time. It was the first and only real time that they have worked and engineered the ball cleverly, intelligently. Wayne McNamara had options, but what about that for a finish from the number 5? And Limerick counter-attack. Here comes Niall Moran. 2 minutes of additional time to be added on. Is this perhaps another score? Yes. And Limerick, thanks to Donal O'Grady, the player who scores his second point of the match. It means right half back a goal. Donal O'Grady from midfield, 2 points.
That's it, Marty. And, you know, first bit of forceful play there that we've seen from Limerick. Wayne McNamara, great run up the field. He had options inside, but he took on the responsibility and buried a great ball into the corner of the net. And Donal O'Grady then with a point. And now we might have a game in our hands now.
David O'Sullivan being well hooked. 3 minutes of additional time. Shane O'Sullivan sprays the ball over towards the corner. Brian O'Sullivan operating over here. Good work by young O'Sullivan. Good stick work. What about this for a finish? He's a really good player.
No, that's a brilliant score, Martin. It's all about pace, really. Brian O'Sullivan, Damien Rail just didn't have that yard of pace he had a few years ago, and Brian O'Sullivan knew that, and a beautiful score off his hurl.
He's the older brother of the substitute who's wearing number 19, David O'Sullivan. Their dad is well known in medical circles, Dr. Tig O'Sullivan in Waterford City. So it's a big day for the O'Sullivan family. The 2 sons playing on the Waterford team for the first time. Sent forward by Dara Fives. Limerick need to hold out, the Division 2 champions, before half-time. They're under pressure here. Pass back is not a great one. And going forward, Waterford have numbers. They have the chance here. Great defending. Really good defending. Gavin O'Mahony was the man who vacuumed up and cleared the ball. But Limerick must focus and retain their concentration as we're deep into injury time. Just watch this again. As the ball broke inside, Limerick had to work really hard.
That's right. Tom Conlon got back there, got the flick in and broke it away. But on a day like this, if you can get the ball in fast into the full forward line, you know, the ball is going to break. It's going to spray off the ground, and Waterford are doing a little bit of it, but not that much, and Limerick aren't doing it at all. You know, I think whoever can adjust to the conditions tactically is going to win this game.
Sean Tobin, look where he is. You can see when the slither skids along the surface how much rain there's been. In Thurles, Maurice Shanahan puts that over the bar for his second point. And the Munster champions respond to Wayne McNamara's goal and Donal O'Grady's point in splendid fashion.
Yeah, just in a funny way, great score there by Maurice Shanahan. He's got a couple of great points. Like, the Waterford forwards are playing far better than the Limerick forwards, but in a way Limerick will nearly be happier. They can't go much worse than they have in ways, and yet they're only 4 points down coming into half-time.
Ball comes out first, James Ryan, man who played football last year. Good forward. Lays it inside to Richard McCarthy. Difficult angle. Clinton Hennessy saves back in there. And there's another point for Limerick. Niall Moran coming in, getting the rebound, getting his second point of the match.
Yeah, you can see when Limerick take them on and run at them, they're causing problems. Great ball in by James Ryan. He's gone to centre forward now. Good save by Clinton Hennessy, but you know, he just bounced it up in the air, and a good finish by Niall Moran.
But they really need to keep playing that ball in and run at Waterford perhaps. Here's David O'Sullivan sending a ball in towards Shane Walsh. Hickey fell at the wrong time. Here's a chance. Nicky Quaid, good save. Just like his dad did for so many years. Well done, Nicky Quaid. Lays it off fires Gavin O'Mahony, captain. Celebrating his birthday yesterday, he was 24. And on that particular note, the referee blows the half-time whistle.
Half-time at Sampa Stadium, and it's Waterford 1-9, Limerick 1-6. Here with me in studio, Gerlach Nan and Tomás Mulcahy. Tomás, the funny thing about this is Limerick are in actually a good situation because, as Michael Dignan said, they couldn't be playing too much worse and they're only 3 points down.
Oh, they're in a great position at half-time, and I'm sure if you're inside in that dressing room, there will be a lot of hard questions asked and a lot of giving out about their performance in the first half, but they got themselves back in the game just before half-time when it looked like that Waterford were cruising, you know, and you look at the Waterford selection, you look at it at the start and you would say maybe Davy Fitzgerald was expecting a warm summer's day with the lightness of the forwards, and he was expecting a quicker ball and stuff like that, because they've shown any time they've got free on their markers, they have the pace, they have the level of skill to get away and get the scores, and they started pushing ahead. At that stage, maybe John Milan had the opportunity maybe to put the game out of sight there with a goal chance, and he failed to take it.
Limerick have questions. Do they have the answers, though?
Well, I'll tell you now, they've got plenty of possession in the first half. It's the use of possession has been their big problem. You know, they're trying to play the ball that bit short, especially playing. Today is not a day to be playing short passes with a Hurley and then try to control it with a Hurley. You know, that's the big mistake they're making. Their full forward line is very far out. There's no ball going into the full forward, no fast ball going into the full forward line. But from the 34th minute on, they have done more hurling in 4 minutes than they had done in the previous 34. I think a part of it is adjusting to the pace of this kind after being playing second division for so on. Now they seem to have come into the rhythm of it, the pace of it, and you know, for the last 4 minutes they've had the upper hand. And Waterford are very hesitant, winning a lot of ball around Brick Welsh, controlling the centre, winning a lot of ball from Mullumphy at midfield. But the ball into the full forward line is not being won inside. You know, people are skating around the place. It's very scrappy. In fairness, it's a very, very scrappy game. Now it's a dogfight. It's a question of who's going to come out on top in this dogfight.
They've also been tentative at the back.
This simple stadium venue. It's a terrible afternoon and in terms of weather, but I'm sure it'll reignite discussion about ticket prices.
Yeah, well, I think, Marty, €30 again today for a covered stand ticket for a Munster semi-final on a bad day. If you had a family travelling, you know, it's too much. And just another thing outside, I brought down 4 young lads from Offaly today. It's a fiver for anyone under 16, which is a brilliant initiative. But if a young fella presented himself at the thing, he wasn't allowed to buy a ticket. An adult had to buy the ticket for you. So, you know, if you had a few young lads down there that were trying to buy tickets and they weren't allowed to, I don't know what that's about either.
Perhaps it's time to play both semi-finals on the same day. Anyway, Brian Geary takes the free and gets the point. That's his first point in this Munster Championship semi-final. It means Wayne McNamara has scored a goal from right half back. Brian Geary a point. Gavin O'Mahony is the only one that hasn't got his name on the score sheet.
Yeah, that's an ideal start for Limerick, and you know, you'd expect a much better second half. They should settle down now and the nerves should be gone, and you know, they're really in with a great chance after a poor first half.
Donald O'Grady losing possession under severe pressure. Brick Walsh tries to flick one away. Paul Brown intercepts. Vital ball here, sliding challenge by Kevin Moran. Pulled on first time by Pádraig Mahoney. As Waterford continue to get the ball up towards the Limerick goalposts, scrambling it up. But this is going to be a line ball for Limerick. Interesting at half time how long it took the Limerick manager and his co-selectors Kieran Carey, TJ Ryan and Pat Heffernan to go into the Limerick dressing room. Big discussion about tactical changes and switches, and yet when the Limerick team come out, there are no changes.
Yeah, but that's in the GA, they want to give lads a chance. You know, they take collective responsibility. They didn't play well as a team, and you know, they're saying, look, we'll give you another 10 minutes and that's it, and if you don't produce it, we'll be taking lads off.
Noel Connacht's giving it to his opposite number 4, Tom Condon. Tom is doing well. He had a shaky start at the beginning when he was marking John Milan, but he's doing well now. There's a bit of afters going on. It's all done and dusted. This is Kevin Downs. This is what Donald O'Grady wanted. The ball into the full forward, and it is a goal! The 19-year-old from Caherdavan scored a cracking goal in the Division 2 final in Cusack Park in Ennis. And the message was clear from the sideline from Donald O'Grady. Give it to 14. Give it to Kevin Downs. He will show you how to score goals. Watch this for class.
Yeah, Marty, that's a brilliant goal for a young player. And as you said, Donald O'Grady, he was overheard there on the sideline, you know, by Joanne Cantwell, our sideline reporter, telling, get it into 14 in the first half, and they failed to do it. But the first ball he gets shows his power, his strength, and a great finish off his hurl. And that's, you know, brilliant start for Limerick down to the second half. And now Waterford are going to have to up the game, and we could be in for that game, we thought.
Brick Walsh has to put back on the helmet. He was suffering a little bit, but he's fine. And Semple Stadium might have only 15,650 people, but a large number are from Limerick, and they are getting behind their side. Now, challenge for the Munster champions. Here comes Geary, centre half back, rock solid so far. Nice pick up by Maurice Shannon, gets it back. Pádraig Mahoney in space, and it misses the goalposts. Right and wide for to take the puck out. Goes straight to Tony Brown. Wasn't the intention, I'm sure. Fast legs by Limerick. Keep the pressure on. Donald O'Grady has scored twice from midfield. He's looking at the goalpost. He's having another lash. And he's got his hat-trick of points, and Limerick are rocking and rolling in Semple Stadium. They haven't been smiling, the Limerick hurling people, for over 2 years, perhaps even more, but they're smiling in the rain of Semple Stadium.
Martin, you know, great goal, but Donald O'Grady there. Again, maybe Kevin Downs made a great run into the corner. If he hit it wide, we'd be criticising him, but he has the confidence. You know, he's a very experienced player, and he's after scoring 3 great points. His striking looks to be absolutely fabulous today. Yeah, I just watched Donald O'Grady playing with great confidence, obviously going very well in training. I saw a big article in the Sunday Independent today where, you know, he was very open, I thought, talking about their training and what they've been doing, and you can see he's bringing that confidence into the game today.
He was funny, actually.
He was funny.
Nice piece indeed.
Well, it is, and it's nice to see players willing to talk to the press, I think, you know, not to be hiding behind, you know, managers having bans on players talking. I think it's all part of the game, and it's good for the profile.
Absolutely. Doing the talking at the moment, it's Limerick. Here's Graham Mulcahy in space. He's a really good corner forward, and there's an example. 4 of the 6 Limerick forwards have scored. Graham Mulcahy from Kilmallock gets into space. Nephew of Donald Barry, who hurled with Limerick in the 80s and early 90s. He has hurling pedigree.
Yeah, Martin, it's amazing how, you know, we were saying just before half-time that Limerick were still in the game. If Kevin Moran down now, Michael Walsh to stop the rot before they go 4 or 5 down.
Nicely batted down by Brian Geary. You feel Limerick have got over the jitters. They're playing with more confidence. Ball inside first, Kevin Downs. This time Waterford regain possession through Dara Fives. Pumps the ball into space. Wonderful catch by the captain, Gavin O'Mahony. Paul Brown has to go back a second time and then steps away from the challenge. Nice little bit of hurling skill. Pat Delaney of Kilkenny did it in the 70s. Paul Brown does it in 2011. That's hitting the slither off the ground and putting it back on the hurl.
He might have been better off hitting it into the full forward line there, to be honest with you. He lost it there. Great catch there by Gavin O'Mahony. You know, really in the first half, Gavin O'Mahony and Brian Geary kept him in the game. You know, they won an awful lot of possession from puckouts, and interestingly, Waterford still pucking the ball down that side of the field. You know, whereas you know, they're getting no change out of Gavin O'Mahony or Brian Geary down the middle.
Ball into the centre towards Shane O'Sullivan. Flicks it on towards the main scoring man. This is John Milan. Turns. Umpires eventually make up their mind. It took a while.
No rush.
But anyway, they finally got it right. Ball is wide.
And I suppose we should explain why Nicky Quaid is wearing the number 16 jersey, because the number 1 jersey is white and it would be too close to the Waterford colours, so that's why he's in the 16 jersey.
Puck out comes down for as James Ryan. Gary Spillane now won a county championship back in 2005. Ball drops in. It's 2 against 2. Milan is hovering. So too is Shane Walsh. Milan is on the deck. Here comes Shane Walsh bearing down on goal. Nicky Quaid to beat. Goal for Waterford. He's done it in the league. He's done it in the championship. Shane Walsh is a man on form.
Yeah, he is, Marty. Just look at his touch. He came out, watched the ball all the time, and a beautiful sidestep there to go inside Seamus Hickey, who's no slouch, and a lovely finish. Made sure he couldn't be hooked, just popped it out in front of him, and straight off the hurl, taps it into the net. Great goal.
Sides level in Semple Stadium.
And in fairness, that's why he's there. People looking for Seamus Prendergast, but Shane Walsh is very, very tidy around there, and you know, great footwork and great hands.
Level for the 3rd time. Far better second half. I know we've only had 8 minutes, but it's been enjoyable. John Milan looks for the free and wins the free. I've no doubt he was fouled, but that having been said, there was a bit of the drama.
All the nerves gone out of the system now.
Pádraig Mahoney standing over the slither. Student in University College Cork. Gets his 4th point of the match. And Waterford sneak in front by 1. Puck out by Nicky Quaid, who got the last. Gavin O'Mahony. Good ball. Richie McCarthy should get there. Noel Connors is involved, but Limerick have the possession. Back out from Graham Mulcahy. Good defended by Tony Brown. Paul Brown leaves it for Mulcahy. Gets the pass. Tries to make an angle. Sean Tobin in space. Richie McCarthy is inside. This is Tobin. First touch is vital. He has it. He's inside the large rectangle. Plenty of Waterford defenders around him. 4 of them, in fact. One of them, the brick. Here comes Walsh. Gets it out first, Tony Brown. He waited patiently for it. Coming under pressure from James Ryan. Clinton Hennessy is involved. Gets the clearance in. Middle of the field, it's 3 against 1. Breaking ball, picked up by David O'Sullivan. Good understanding by the midfielders. Ball into Milan, but Tom Condon took his eye off it. And this is a chance for Milan, who started to give out for the poor ball in. He got the sliotar, he scores, and Waterford are back in control.
Yeah, and interesting there, Martin. I think this Tom Condon looks like a real hurler. You know, he's great pace, great power driving out with the ball, but he just made 1 or 2 little mistakes. And you know, on a player like John Milan, you can't afford to do it, and he's punished him. He has 1-2 on the board, whereas Tom Condon has done very little wrong.
Puck out by Nicky Quaid. Great catch. Wayne Hutchinson, who's wearing 3, but you notice that he's a little bit more comfortable out there at right half back. Damien Rail. Hospital Herbertstown man. Gavin O'Mahony gives it inside to Hickey, who loses possession to Seamus O'Sullivan. Trouble for Limerick. 2 mistakes. 2 balls for Waterford, and straight over the bar. Off the stick this time of Brian O'Sullivan.
Yeah, Marty, far too casual. Ball out to Gavin O'Mahony. A lovely ball out from Damien Rail. He should have driven it up the field. Again, hand pass inside, and Seamus Hickey too casual coming out and punished. At this level, you just can't afford to be dilly-dallying with the ball like that.
The difference between Division 2 hurling and the Championship?
Exactly, yeah.
Waterford, when the challenge was put up to them, have responded magnificently so far. They have regained control. This is Tom Condon, who adopts the old-fashioned rule in cornerback play, first to the ball. He's fouled. It's a free for Limerick. Davy Fitz is getting more and more animated as the game progresses.
I think that's the ref that's getting...
Brian Geary with the free. That's a mighty free. Dropping it in towards big Kevin Downs, and he gathers it inside. He's onto the left boot. Waterford surrounded, and Noel Connors is there to deliver it out first. His captain, Stephen Malumphing. Good calling by Shane O'Sullivan in space in the middle of the field. Brian O'Sullivan wants a diagonal ball all the way over there. That is a great call by O'Sullivan and a great bit of vision by Shane, but the finish was disappointing. Puck out is given straight to Brian Geary. Surrounded. Lays it off to Gavin O'Mahony. Limerick man was marked. Possibly not a good option. Rolls on, fires the full forward. Good play. Graham Mulcahy. Challenge is an illegal one, and that's a free in for Limerick for that foul on the Kilmallock man. And the referee, Barry Kelly, didn't like the challenge sufficiently well enough to perhaps note the name.
Yeah, I think that was enough. It wasn't a yellow card, but your great play there a minute ago by Paddy Sullivan, wasn't it Paddy O'Sullivan, yeah, or Shane O'Sullivan, a great ball across the field into Brian O'Sullivan. And sometimes in hurling you can have too much time, and he had far too much time and pucked it wide.
Richie McCarthy takes the free and gets the point. You sense that he's getting a little bit more confident.
Yeah, no, he settled down like the rest of them, but a much better second half. Both, all the players now, as I talked before, and with so many young players on the field, you should have a good open game. There's no cynicism out there, and it's a fine second half now. 2-12
Waterford, 2-10 from play. 2-10 Limerick, 2-8 from play. This ball is sneaking inside the post. That is a beautiful strike off the hurl of Niall Moran from Mahan. Oh, the wing forward did really well here. He had a follow through that Pádraig Harrington would be really proud of. Watch it. He steadied. The follow through was there. Up goes the sliotar straight over the crossbar. Good response by Limerick. Level, short time ago. Down by 3. Kevin Downs, there's a man inside. Still Downs bearing down and goal! And another goal! Kevin Magic Kevin Downs. And he's not going to be 20 until October. Limerick 3-11, Waterford 2-12. Give it to Kevin Downs is the motto that Donal O'Grady instructed from the sideline after that big team management along the sideline before they went into the dressing room. The plan A has finally worked.
Well, that's it, Marty. First of all, diagonal ball again, we're always talking about it here, but it gives the forward that chance. A slip there then, and Kevin Downs in, but he still had an awful lot to do. You know, so the ball came across in front of me. He got the right side of his man and came in, but he still had a lot of work to do. But you can see his strength, the power he has for a young man, unbelievable, and a great finish into the corner of the net. And you know, as you say, Limerick are mixing up their game better now. They're still taking a few shots from out the field, but they're putting them over the bar, but mostly they're playing the ball into the full forward line.
Back there, helping out his full back line, is the corner forward, Sean Tobin. Here's the goal scorer from the first half, Wayne McNamara. Lays it off to Paul Brown. Stepping away from the challenge. Great engine. Under 21 just 2 years ago. Played in the intermediate final against Kilkenny 3 years ago. The pass inside was not a great one. Here comes Malumphey, captain, driving it in. 3 Limerick players there. There should be enough. One of them is the former All-Star, Seamus Hickey from Maru Boher. Young Hurler of the Year, 2007. Stepping inside Niall Moran. Scored a hat-trick of points. Make that. No. Hold your horses. Keep it at 3.
Yeah, and you know, this is what Niall does. You know, he scores something, you know, usually 3, 4, 5 great points, and obviously he always shoots on, you know, when he gets the ball, he's a very good striker. He's always going to hit his few wides as well, and you can't blame him there. You know, went around his man very well and took the right option, had the shot, just gone wide.
Batted down by Donal O'Grady. Coming through in the follow-up. On the ground is David O'Sullivan. Well picked up by Niall Moore. Taken out of it by Wayne Hutchinson. Now, just when we have the moment, you have to admire the...
Haven't really managed to fill.
And Limerick and Donal O'Grady knew that they had a problem at full-back. Brian Geary drops this in. Clinton Hennessy gathers. Good calling by Kevin Moran. You could hear the shout up here. Jamie Nagle coming in for Wayne Hutchinson. So there is going to be a change. And Jamie normally operates in the half-back line or midfield. Nice stick work by Brian O'Sullivan, who's doing well on Damien Rail. High challenge by the right corner back, and he can't afford to do that because he's on a yellow card.
Yeah, and there's been a couple, you know, he's pulled there. He was pulled just before half-time in that incident with Shane Walsh as well, you know, which was fairly marginal, but you know, that's 2 or 3 fouls since then, since he got the yellow card, and he's definitely on his last chance.
Free in for Waterford, going to be taken by Pádraig Mahoney, who's already scored 4 points in this match.
And it's the type of game, Marty, I have the feeling there's going to be a few more twists. There's definitely going to be more goals, I'd imagine, because both sets of forwards are creating plenty of space now.
Referee Barry Kelly is telling Wayne McNamara and Donal O'Grady to go back sufficient distance. Good to see Barry Kelly back refereeing after an absence of last year. And the free taken by Pádraig Mahoney means it's point number 5 for him personally.
Yeah, and I think since half-time Barry Kelly has let the game flow a lot more. You know, in fairness, as you say, he was out all last year, maybe a little bit picky in the first half in the conditions, but he's really let the game flow since half-time, and it's added hugely to the enjoyment of the second half.
His twin sons, Manus and Theo, they were the reason why he opted out of hurling last year, watching the game, I believe. Their dad told me.
He had his hands full.
Wayne McNamara's pass inside was legitimate, but the referee spotted the foul. Big man, probably ideal for him.
Yeah, and you wonder with Owen Kelly as well, you know, usually a big, huge championship player. There's another free over the bar. Sorry, Marty.
Richie McCarthy gets his 3rd point of the match.
Yeah, he's definitely settled down the freeze, but just Owen Kelly is a man on the big occasion. You know, a day like today, maybe there's a couple of goal chances going, maybe a penalty, something like that, you'd nearly have him in there. Easy
ball. What about the finish from Pádraig Mahoney? That's a good strike, really is. 6 points for Pádraig Mahoney. 3 frees, 3 from play.
Yeah, Marty, I must say, very impressed with him here today. Winning plenty of hard ball, catching puck outs, taking his frees and scoring from play and working hard. Looks the real deal at wing forward.
How important are schools and colleges? When you think of De La Salle, Noel Connors, Pádraig Mahoney, Artskull Reach for Kevin Downs for Limerick. As Limerick go into the attack, that ball is wide. You have to have that
For the years, I think it's hugely important because you have the lads together all day, every day, and if it's the time that you can, really spend quality time coaching young lads, and any of those top schools are bringing the players through, and any place that's not doing it, it's not happening for the county teams.
Limerick on the attack. Ball for Kevin Downs. Noel Connor's vital little interception. Under pressure from Richie McCarthy. Still good work by Richie, keeping the pressure on. No foul. Now the referee blows the whistle. And all of Semple Stadium say, was that a foul? Or was it a sympathy vote for the left cornerback?
Yeah, great play by Noel Connors. He did everything last year's cornerback, all-star cornerback. Little swing back there to get away. Richie McCarthy after him here to hold him. No free there.
No free.
No, I never touched him, no. Great play actually. You're encouraging forwards to tackle and harass